Welcome back to my channel. We are still looking at special questions, and here we want to look at questions lines, as we have here that the figure below shows various types of lines used in technical drawing. Use the figure to answer the questions below. All right, so here we have the questions. As we have here, this is question 1, and question 1, Roman figure 1 says A is dashed line. So A is dashed line. So what type of line is this? So this type of line, so we call it, so this type of line in technical drawing, so we call it short dashes line. So short dashes, so short dashes line. So that is what we call this type of line in technical drawing. So we call it short dashes line. Then B is Roman figure 2. B is a dashed line. So B is a dashed line. So B is a thin long chain line. So long chain line, thin long chain line. So thin long chain line, that is B, is a thin long chain line. Then C is, so what do we call line C in technical drawing? Line C is a thick continuous line. So line C is a thick continuous line. So thick continuous, so continuous line. So it's a thick continuous line. And then, so what about D? So line D is called, so line D is called thin continuous line. So thin continuous, so continuous line. Okay, so that is line D. It's called thin continuous line. Then Roman figure 5. So line E, so what do we call line E in technical drawing? So we call it, so thin continuous, so thin continuous, so thin continuous wavy line. So thin continuous wavy line. So that is line E is called thin continuous wavy line. So what about line F? So line F, what do we call line F in technical drawing? So what do we call line F in technical drawing? So line F is called arrowhead line. So we call it arrowhead line. So we call it arrowhead line. That is line F is called arrowhead line. So then what about line G? So what do we call line G in technical drawing? So line G is called, so line G is called, so we call it, so thin continuous line, we call it thin continuous line. So thin continuous, so thin continuous line, so thin continuous line with short, so zigzag. Okay, so with short zigzag. So that is what we call line G. Then line H, what do we call line H in technical drawing? What do we call line H in technical drawing? So we call line H, we call it thick long chain line. So thick, so we call it thick long chain line. So thick long chain line. So that is what we call line H in technical drawing. All right, so let's look at question 2 for us to know what we have here. So question 2, Roman figure 1 says that dash is used for visible outlines and edges. So that dash is used for visible outlines and edges. So from the question, so we use C. So we use C for visible outlines and edges. That is what, that is a thick continuous line. So that's a thick continuous line. Okay, so we use thick continuous line. So thick continuous line. So we use it for visible outlines and edges. Okay, so that is C. So we use C for visible outlines and edges, which is a thick continuous line. Then Roman figure 2 says that dash is used for short dashes and for indicating limit of partial view, for short line, for short breaks, for short breaks. So dash is used for short breaks and for indicating limit of partial views. That is thin continuous wavy line or thin continuous wavy line. So that is what, that is E. So we have E for that. That is thin continuous wavy line. But when it's come to T continuous wavy line, we use it for limit, for indicating limit of partial views. And then Roman figure 3 says that dash is used for dimensioning. Dash is used for dimensioning. That is what that is. The arrow end line F is used for dimensioning. Then Roman figure 4 says that dash is used for construction and projection. Dash is used for construction and projection. That's what that is. D, that is thin continuous line. We use it for construction and for projection. Then Roman figure 5 says that dash is used for cutting plane. So dash is used for cutting plane. So we use H, that is thick long chain line. We use it for cutting plane. We use H for cutting plane. Okay. Then Roman figure 6 says that dash is used for center line. Dash is used for center line. So we use B, which is thin continuous, thin long chain line. So B, thin long chain line, we use it for center lines. Then Roman figure 7 says that dash is used for hidden details. Dash is used for hidden details. So the line that we use for hidden details is A, which is short dashes line. So A is short dashes line. We use it for hidden details. Then Roman figure 8 says that dash is used for long break. Dash is used for long break. So we use thin continuous line with short zigzag for long breaks. That is G. So we use G for long break. So we have been able to answer the questions that we have here about lines in technical drawing. And then we are able to identify each of them, and we are also able to state the uses. It's as simple as I've done it here. Thank you and God bless you.